Hey, what's up, you guys? Ew! Oh, ew, ew. Oh, ew, what is all that? Oh. Basketball Jones! I got a basketball Jones!
Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Okay, here we go. Woo. The bomb! What the bomb?
Fantastic.
Ah, blew his toe off.
Calling Bob.
Taking that toe.
Get out of my fucking game! Whose house? Mira's house. Bitch, I run this city. But only consensually. Girl, you know I'm gonna ask for permission.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FewTrueGamers podcast. My name is Jacob BestintheRealm Hodder. I am joined as always by TrollBeard.
Howdy.
And today we have two special guests from the StreamOn Nation. We have Andrew Beowulf.
How's it going?
And Fate's Pyro.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Nothing much.
Not much today.
So I've been looking forward to this because I hung out with Fates a little bit the other day in his stream while he was playing some of the best game in the world, Destiny. And but this is really our first meeting other than lots of text chat and Discord servers and whatnot. So
yes,
this is pretty cool.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Me too.
So what we do on this show is we will do a kind of weekly update. Me and Troll usually do. We'll talk about Fortnite a little bit, or at least he will. Fates will, I'm sure, have something to say about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about Destiny. And then we're going to go into what we've been playing this week. And then we're going to talk a lot, I'm sure, about the Game Awards and the Kind of Funny Game Showcase. Because there's a lot of talk about this week. Holy shit. So much announced. So let's just get right into it. Troll, you got a new Fortnite video up.
Yeah, Season 7 just started. And part of the news of Season 7 also happened during the Game Awards. I'll go ahead and kind of include those in since it's all part of Season 7. But yeah, so an iceberg hit and smashed into the whole bottom left half of the map. So old areas that had been there before are now gone, covered up with snow.
Which areas are
They've
gone?
added Greasy Grove, the place I used to call Pallet Paradise has been kind of like damaged and changed a little bit. It was just these warehouses that had just a bunch of stacks of pallets. So it was a good place to find some quick loot and get a lot of materials fast without having to leave a small area. Yeah. All these other buildings.
That turret you complained about.
Yeah, that was my first game of Season 7, and I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to bother this person. So yeah, my first game of Season 7 is a win.
Nice.
But yeah, like I just, jumped in and really only spent enough time to do the weekly challenges.
Yeah.
But it's just good times.
Did you get in a plane?
Yeah, the planes are cool. They've added zip lines that are just all over the map. There's like these red outpost buildings. You can usually find zip lines too. A lot of them will have airplanes near them. So now they've gotten rid of a lot of items that were intended for mobility, but have replaced it with, just more universal for the entire map tools.
How do the planes fly? Do they fly like Battlefield, or are they a little more arcadey?
They're super arcadey.
Okay. Pretty easy.
Yeah, like you just hit the button to start it up, and then the button you normally like jump with like boosts, but otherwise it's always going at all times. There's a button, to like roll left, roll right. If you hit them both, you do, upside down. If you double tap one, you do a barrel roll. But yeah, it's just super straightforward. There's a seat for the one person on the gun that's flying the plane. As you aim the plane to shoot, like a standard forward mounted gun on an airplane.
Right.
And then up to 4 other people can stand on the wings of the plane. But yeah, as soon as you jump out of the plane, you go into the skydive mode.
Right.
So people have figured out how to fly at other people's planes, jump, land on their plane, shoot them out of the
jeez.
plane, and GTA steal their plane in midair.
Jeez.
Oh my jeez.
But yeah, it's just crazy, like the amount of stuff that changed without having to do much to the game.
Yeah.
They added so much more variety now, because in the snow areas there are like places that would be bodies of water that are iced up. So even if you're not near a zip line or don't have any other kind of mobility, you can just like line up, jump, and run across the ice, and you'll slide, gain some speed going across. Yeah, it's just good times, man. They added wraps, so because it's holiday themed, it's actual like wrapping paper designs. They're like skins
right.
included in the battle pass for your gun, your vehicles, things like that.
Is that back bling we saw a little bit ago in the video?
Well, there's different back blings that are in there now, but like I said, these are just like like skins from like Black Ops, like you
kind of like PUBG does.
Yeah.
You pick up a gun and it's got whatever skin you have for it.
Yeah, you can manually assign a skin to each category of like vehicle,
okay.
pistol, assault rifle, things like that.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, I saw that.
What was the other one back in the day? Daisy? No.
Daisy, yeah, or Warzy.
Was that the Battle Royale one?
Yeah, it was like there was like DayZ, and then DayZ like spawned off of Arma 3.
Yeah, but there was a Battle Royale.
H1Z1.
H1Z1.
That one was heavy with the skins and everything. I remember.
Yeah, a lot of streamers got their own like custom skins.
I feel bad for Greasy. That was the very first time I ever played Fortnite. That was the very first place I ever landed.
Yeah, and it was crazy to me. Like right before this season started, they had just started up like the the food franchise wars.
Mm-hmm.
And like in Greasy Grove, you saw all these different like food trucks, and like the hamburger place, the Durr Burger boarded up. They were being like bought out or whatever. And there's a limited time mode that was the pizza place versus the hamburger place, and then bam, that whole part of the map's just ruined now with all this verticality. Like these icebergs and these levels are like really tall in some spots and pretty treacherous and weird.
So now the big like solid mountain that's kind of like almost the dead center of all the snow, is that where I'm taking it, I guess Murder Mountain is what I call it. They had the little basketball court on top of it.
Yeah, it's kind of in that area. It's just really, really neat. The cinematic in game to introduce it with the crazy like claymation, like puppeteer cartoon that people were watching, and then you see this iceberg roll up, and it's a swole Santa.
I mean, is that a whale that's on top of the mountain?
No, there's a submarine that's kind of
submarine. Okay.
Yeah, there's a submarine that's kind of looks like a whale.
I saw you flying in. I was like, "What is that? A whale?"
Yeah, it's weird.
Troll, go back and get the plane. Go back.
I was doing challenges, man.
No, turn around.
But yeah, like it's just super crazy, like how much more interesting this game gets, and that's part of one of the things they showed at Game Awards was like the thing that unless you play Fortnite, you don't understand. But when they announced the block, that shit was next level, and a lot of people probably just didn't give it the credit it deserved because a lot of people just don't, like either they're in or they're out on Fortnite.
Well, I being as one of those people who is out on Fortnite, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But since we're talking about the block, that is a wonderful idea. I will give them props for that. But
yeah, because they just launched creative mode, which gives you like a set square, your own little personal island you can go mess around. If you go out to the block when you load into your creative mode, you can build within that zone, and then that'll be submitted and people can look at it people can vote
okay.
on it. So then they'll randomly, add in this spot that used to be Risky Reels, these player created little towns essentially.
Did they say when they're gonna do the first one?
Well, they've already got like a lot of creators, like content creators
Yeah.
that have like had access to the creative mode for like a week before it dropped. So I have a feeling they're gonna like curate some stuff first, and then
Yeah, I
open
saw
up
I saw
tools.
Wildcat playing some on it the other day in one of his YouTube videos, and I was like, "This looks interesting."
Yeah, like I had mentioned before when we did the watch along for the Game Awards with Jacob here, is like creative mode is a thing that OG launched Fortnite before Battle Royale, like what became Save the World. Those players like, hey, this is the thing we've been wanting. And then finally, like a year later, they added, which is odd because I don't know. You get access to the creator mode for a week early if you have the battle pass, but what about the people that bought the founders pack? That's
Right.
the people who don't play the battle royale, the minority of the earth, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they don't seem all that concerned with those folks.
Well, they're still adding content. Like they just
Yeah.
rolled out Candy Valley 3 update. So like Candy Valley was like the final stage, like upper tier in-game area of Save the World. And it wasn't complete, and it's still not like fully complete.
Right.
But they've been doing all of like the events that have been happening for Battle Royale have also had like, a brother event going on in the Save the World. So they rolled out some like winter stuff for, Candy Valley 3. And there's been a fairly like large redesign of Save the World recently. I need to kind of jump in there and check it out and see what has changed, because I was solid like for 3 months on Fortnite when it first came out, and then the weird like 2010 mobile game grind.
Yeah, I would like to play it because like I like a lot of things about Fortnite. I hate the competitive building, like we've talked about. Fates has a different issue though. You said something about the hit detection.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
When I can like have a shotgun like inside somebody and hit a 6 like upper chest, that's an issue.
Well, they did a redesign on the shotguns like 2 updates ago.
But not even just the shotguns. I mean, that's my primary example because, back in not I think like 2 seasons ago when I played it hardcore, or even a season ago. Was it last season? No.
I think it was season 5. I think it was season 5.
It was whatever season it was with like all the superhero stuff.
Yeah.
I played hardcore. Like I got really good at Fortnite. Like really good with running double shotguns, really good with just playing Fortnite in general. To the point where like we'd play squads and I could squad wipe people.
So is it the hit detection, or is it like Troll explained to me the whole like the first shot is like the most accurate or something along those lines?
Back then it wasn't even that. It was like, okay, so in my inventory I'd run like 2 pump shotguns. So I'd be able to switch from one to the next one like immediately, and that's how I had to kill people, because one of those shots was going to hit like a 6 and definitely not kill him. Whereas like, I don't know, I can play Blackout and hit a dude in the face with a shotgun and he's going down.
Right.
So I don't know. I maybe hit detection's a poor phrase for it, but that's what I would consider it. It's the fact that like, okay, I have this blue, pump shotgun, and it should, and I've seen it be able to just, one shot people in the face. Why isn't that a consistent thing if I'm shooting people in the face?
Yeah, part of that is a little bit of both of hit detection, because there becomes a problem with the fact that, as big as Fortnite is, it still only has like 4 server regions. And a lot of people, jump on US servers that are, entirely different countries, like across oceans, because they don't have a choice, or that's just where people they know are playing and they can play together there on those servers. But the other part is like the bloom I had described and explained to Jacob before, of like the shooting mechanics as far as like ARs go, the first shot accuracy. It also applies to shotguns, but there is, like the ring, like that little kind of like rectangular box you see for your shotgun, like your target. It is a random pattern of the 8 pellets within that spot. And yeah, sometimes like it looks dead on, but for whatever reason, the math worked out to where it put 6 shots in the top right corner or other things like that. So the rework they did for the shotguns averages out to be a minimum of 3 pellets hit. So instead of doing 6 it's 7 and 8 are the base damage per pellet to a body from the green and blue pumps respectively. Now you'd be hitting for 21 and 24. So they got rid of, the ability to do the double pump.
Yeah, they did that last season.
Yeah, well, that's 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago. After that superhero season, they nerfed my double pump and made me sad.
Yeah, it was the best thing they could have done for the game, honestly.
I had fun that way.
Yeah, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. The people who liked it, but it was horribly toxic as far as this game having any kind of like competitive future. It was like, oh hey, here's this one thing that instantly rewards everybody who learns it.
Yeah, it's like
there's no
Gears of War back in the day. It was just shotguns.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no downside to double pump because it was the only consistent guaranteed damage at that time. The pump shotguns could one-shot basic started walls, and they could also one-shot people with a headshot. So like you could roll in with 2 shotguns with 5 bullets each, and in 6 shots kill an entire squad of 4.
Yep, it was fun. I ran that, or I ran pump and machine pistol, which is really dirty, especially if you got like a purple one.
Yeah, the shotgun to SMG combo has stayed in. It's still like super useful because they added like swap delay on the shotguns.
Yeah,
that's really interesting to me because in a game like this, I would never run 2 close range weapons ever. I would have a rifle and something close range.
Right.
Wouldn't even occur to me to have 2 shotguns. That just seems crazy. But if that's the meta,
see, I was never the best at building.
Yeah.
So like I never I never took the time to actually just practice trying to build and get good at it. I just went on the fly. So I'd take pop shots at people, and 4 or 5 bullets from the assault rifle would connect. I'm like, all right, and then they throw up the wall. I'm like, well, I'm dead.
Yeah.
It was just, it was automatic. Like that was the thought in my head. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna die. They're gonna outbuild me, and I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I always scream at people whenever I'm playing, and I always have a machine gun or a rocket launcher or something just to fuck up their buildings.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I had a sneeze. You go ahead.
Yeah, that was my main problem. My other problem was the fact that gun skill definitely does not outbeat building.
No, not at all.
I would agree with that.
if you're just pro builder, you could have mediocre gun skills and you're more than likely gonna win. And like if I pop you in the back with a like a sniper, but I don't kill you, and you throw up like a 3-story mansion, yeah, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I feel like that happens to me all the time. Where it's like, all right, I got this guy. Oh my god, where did all these things come from? Where is he? And then he comes up behind me and I'm dead.
I've seriously taken sniper shots at people, and before the shot even makes it to them, they've already got a wall up. They hear the shot and they're like, boom, wall. I'm like, shit, really?
Like they're a goddamn superhero.
Yeah, the like there are guys that play like super aggressive close range, and like a pro player like Daquan, like he never carries a sniper rifle at all
Oh, that's my thing. I love snipers.
because he's such a good builder, and he always pushes aggressively. So he can, build to overcompensate his lack of range. Like there are times like he's carrying pretty much nothing but like an SMG and a shotgun. Like he's not even carrying an AR. Like he's getting right in your butt cheeks at all times. And due to like the real like skill ceiling is the building. Like it allows for so many different play styles, but it all requires at least some level of building.
Yeah.
And that's an investment. Like the what is it, the training mode or whatever. I'm forgetting the mode where you just dropped in the map with other people.
I know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
That allowed people to really, really get good. Like that, the day that launched, it just like changed the entire like skill floor. Just went up by like 20 feet. Like the playground mode, yeah. My brain just gave out. Thanks, Zombie Killer. as to what it was, but yeah, playground mode like changed the entire game.
I just used to do tilted drops, and that was it. Just
tilted was the best
tilted.
place to learn how to be super aggressive. And like because back in the day before like I transitioned more into other games, like I still play Fortnite regularly. I do the daily login. Like I've only missed like 7 days maybe since the Fortnite launched.
Yeah.
For the daily login on the Save the World mode. So I'm at like day like 400 and something on that mode. And I've been playing. I was gonna say, and I've been playing the Battle Royale since the week when it was a beta before it launched public.
I look forward to the day that I find a Battle Royale I really enjoy. It might be the Counter-Strike one. I still haven't played it.
Yeah, but that's like 16 people, isn't it? It's like a weird mix.
I need to get as soon as they do that $30 thing for Black Ops 4 on Xbox, I'll do that.
I don't think they're going to do it on console.
I would disagree. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, okay, I've heard about this, but explain it.
So you can buy through Battle.net. You can buy just what would be multiplayer and Blackout for like $30.
Gotcha.
You don't get the zombies. If you're not into zombies, that's fine. I mean, I was even thinking about grabbing it on PC because $30. I don't play a lot of zombies anyway because we don't have like a consistent group.
Right.
But I think it's a pretty good deal for I love Blackout as far as BRs go.
Yeah. I'm loving Blackout.
I don't know. I think if it does really well on PC, they might do it on Xbox.
Money. That's the thing they did with Overwatch. Is like the only version you could buy on consoles is the Origins edition, which was $60, but Overwatch has always been $40 on PC.
Right.
So that pack is actually $40. It's just for this launch window. It's on sale for $30 right now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't got a PC that can handle it. I have a busted one sitting behind me. I'm taking to the shop Monday, and hopefully I can fix it.
Yeah.
It's mostly good, so we'll see.
I'm loving Blackout. The first time I drop in and I shoot somebody and they can't throw up a wall and I kill them, and I'm like, hey, I might actually be able to play this game.
Yeah, Blackout really allows for movement skill and like map knowledge.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times I've surprised the hell out of somebody by opening a door outwards, jumping on the door, jumping onto the roof, and coming around from the top and shooting them in the back. Like there's a lot of room for outplaying in Blackout that doesn't involve building, but sadly they ruined the Mog shotgun, and it makes me cry every time.
Yeah, I love the Mog. All right,
it's just there's no reason to pick it up now over the SG.
Spitfire 2 Pro. I love it.
The Spitfire is idiotic still.
Yeah, it's
like it was trash, and now it's like objectively the only short range gun you should carry.
Although the SOG will give it a run for its money, man.
The SOG has been consistent since day one, but the SOG also gets the benefit of pulling out faster since it's actually a pistol.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Whip this out.
I had to. I didn't have to. I did though.
Yeah, Zombie likes the ABR.
Which was the revolver thing?
The revolver is called the Muzo. Are you talking about the Annihilator? The nonsense you had to get.
Oh my god!
To get Seraph.
No, the revolver sniper.
That's the Koshka or the Outlaw. They're both revolver barrels, but the Outlaw is the one you're probably thinking of.
I've never played Blackout, but I love that thing.
The design.
It's fun.
It makes me think of like the Jacobs sniper rifles from Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
I don't like the name Jacob.
Things he.
Oh yeah. Fucked.
It's a giant hit marker machine in multiplayer, though. I can't stand it in that. I don't mind it in Blackout, but
they kind of fucked it in Blackout too. Like, I mean, unfortunately,
I don't mind it. I mean, it's not bad. I can still like one-shot people with it, but like I don't know. I prefer the Koshka or just obviously the Paladin. But
I just wish the Paladin was way more consistent, because there have been times like I've like shot a guy twice in the body with a Paladin and he's walked it off, but then I body shot him in a different game with the Koshka and he goes down. I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't make sense.
There's a couple quality of life updates that they need to make to Blackout, in my opinion.
If they want to stay competitive with Fortnite, they're gonna have to do stuff.
Well, I don't mean just like I don't even mean just like adding content, kind of like Fortnite does. But I mean, like, for instance, cluster grenades need a nerf. I'd like to see them add that little beam of light in the sky when you put your marker down.
Yeah, that would be.
I'd like to see. What the heck was it? I had something else I wanted to see them do, and I can't remember it now. Dear God.
I did find out today. I threw it up in Officer for you and Zombie Fate. The new update that's going to be coming out. They are putting in Hijacked.
I knew it was Hijacked or
Carrier. Yes.
Carrier.
What's that?
I figure Carrier. The different sections on the map that are from some of our multiplayer games.
They're changing the map.
Either they're going to change it or they're just going to actually add the zone in somewhere on the map, which will be nice. They're adding in a new specialist as well. That's going to be kind of like a hacker. Can hack, I think maybe even your score streaks or something like that. I'm not for sure exactly. They didn't go into much detail on the specialist, but I'm sure they'll release more as they go.
When we first were talking about Blackout, I'm trying to pull up Troll's video now. He goes in an area and I went, wait, what is that? It's a map I recognize. I love that. That is so damn cool to me. Where it's like, I've been here before. I've never played this game before. I've been to this place before.
Right.
Is there like a story behind how all these places are on one like island?
I think if you do the operator like quest things, not in Blackout, but like
it's like the specialist HQ.
Yeah. I think it does because they actually have a character listed as I forget exactly what her first name is, but it's like Mason from Blackout's like daughter or granddaughter or something.
His granddaughter, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's in charge of like Blackout kind of deal. I don't know. I haven't done the HQ yet. I haven't bothered.
Yeah, I've done those. It basically explains what the collapse is. The collapse is what the storm is called in Blackout.
Yeah.
And she's the lady who created the tech that became the operators in Black Ops 3.
This just looks so satisfying to play.
But
it really is. It's like this guy that he's murdering right now. It's just, it's like, there's like, how are you going to protect yourself, man?
Like watching him play this, I ended up going back and playing Black Ops 3, which I love.
But yeah, that is probably the one best thing. Something we're going to talk about here in a little bit, and I'll go over it pretty quick. Is Realm Royale is the shining beacon in midair. That's the best thing any of the battle royales could have stolen from that game. Is that was a day one feature in Realm Royale, is like placing your marker on the map and you just see it visibly shining in the air.
Yes.
Which they added the quick marker ad to Fortnite, which is super fucking cool. Because if you see like an airdrop super far away, you can just aim up, hit the marker on it, and now always know exactly where that drop came down without having to just guess and run towards it.
I remember when they added the beam of light, and we finally we played one night and we dropped in. And I was like, holy shit, there's a beam of light. And everybody's like, what the? I was like, oh my god, this makes so much sense. So,
but yeah.
Has Realm Royale actually come to console, just out of curiosity yet?
It's in beta right now, so that's what they're showing right now. Is they had the early access like preview program for Xbox for a bit.
Yeah,
that was easy to get into.
Yeah,
they just started rolling out.
That's right. I was thinking I played it on PC.
Like they rolled out like probably earlier last month. They were finally rolling out PS4 beta codes to people for regular access. So if you go to like their website and register, you can get it on PS4. But man, this game, even though like it needs a lot of work, like it already runs better than PUBG does. My issue with PUBG, not only just from like performance wise, as far as like the map loading in before you land. Triggered. Which I saw some people playing PUBG on PS4 and already had seen hey, I dropped on the map, but the map hasn't loaded yet. So now the map loaded and I'm stuck inside a building's walls. But so that's still a problem.
It's the ultimate win strategy right there.
Dude, but PUBG being on Xbox and then now being released and being on Game Pass on PS4 is just like a kid failing every fucking class and they keep moving them up. It's so aggravating.
I don't mind it on
PC. He does fine. What the hell? That's all I have to say about PUBG. It makes me angry. I love PUBG.
I'm surprised that they got it to PlayStation so fast with how hard it is to
Everyone
get PlayStation
is.
certs.
Yeah.
With seriously, like I remember when like Ark was trying to leave beta and go actually hit their launch, and they were having problems with getting their certs from Sony. And like I don't understand how PUBG did it.
I don't know. They got that money.
Like holy crap. And don't get me wrong, I like PUBG on PC. It's not bad. I'm terrible at it, but it's not bad.
I love PUBG on PC.
But I don't understand how they got it on PlayStation so fast. I was like, oh yeah, we won't see PUBG till like 2019 at some point if we're lucky.
And they did the 1.0 release on Xbox, and then they put it on Game Pass, and I don't know.
But yeah, with
go ahead.
PUBG, the thing I've mentioned before with PUBG is the thing, which like it's weird we mentioned H1Z1. Like H1Z1 on consoles works better than PUBG.
Oh, I love H1Z1 on console. It's on PlayStation 4 and it's free and it's actually really wonderful.
Yeah, because
is the battle royale I got into, and everyone was like, play PUBG, and I was like, nah, I'm an H1Z1 guy. And then I ended up getting PUBG, and it is better. It was, at least at the time.
But yeah, the thing with H1Z1 is when they rebranded and redesigned and relaunched just H1Z1 as it is, because it used to be H1Z1 Battle Royale, then H1Z1 Just Survive,
Yeah.
and then they rebranded it to where the old H1Z1 like DayZ kind of game became just called Just Survive, and then the Battle Royale was only H1Z1. When they launched on the consoles, they changed the entire like structure of the game to make it smoother experience across all platforms. So like in the old PC version, there was crafting of breaking stuff down.
Yeah.
And getting fabric to recraft armor. They got rid of that because that added a whole bunch of extra menus that made it harder to handle on consoles. And it speeds up the game and honestly kind of makes it more fun.
Me and Bob played a bunch of H1Z1, and it was a lot of fun. I hope it comes out on Xbox.
But in the case of PUBG, is they literally just ported a PC game and figured out a convoluted ass fucking. People complain about like the controls and how convoluted for Red Dead Redemption 2. I was like trying to remember what button does what on PUBG on Xbox or PS4. It's like, okay, yeah. I hold this button to do this. I tap it to do this. I hold this other button to do this thing. I've got to like hit this button to get to my inventory and tab over with the shoulder buttons. Like it's so many steps to do a basic thing. So, it's just like insane.
I think we could have a whole discussion on battle royales one day, but we do have a lot to talk about today.
But I was just gonna say real quick, the only problem I currently have with Realm Royale, like I said, it runs fine. It's weird that like I don't know if they're doing the same thing they do with Paladins, where until you get to a certain rank, half of the game is like filled with bots.
Yeah,
it doesn't actually filter in most like players. But right now, the actual controls of aiming kind of just don't work. So like, there's no aim assist, but there's options for like controlling like the intensity of aim assist. They just don't work right now. And then like the sensitivity sliders kind of all just make everything go faster. Like,
go ahead.
So yeah, it just needs some actual like systems mechanical work and some sound cue work. But for a beta, it's running way better performance wise, dropping in, running around than I ever experienced. Even recently trying PUBG again on Xbox.
And my problem is that guy. It was just me and him, and he kept killing me, but he wouldn't kill me as a chicken. I just kept reviving. He had vastly superior weapons. Yeah, let's. I did want to have a little bit of a talk about the new Destiny content. Fates, you're not. You're just doing Forsaken right now, right?
I'm not leveled, but I've been reading, trying to keep up in terms of like what's out as far as Destiny goes.
Yeah, so right now, I think there's just one Forge out, and there's about to be another one.
They did release. Did they release the second one?
The second Forge is out, and apparently people are already complaining about the RNG bullshit to unlock it.
I saw the drop, or I saw the tweet about a Forge dropping, and I thought it was the second one. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
but yeah,
quicker than I thought.
I saw what's his name, Destin Legary, like tweet. He's like, so let me get this right. Like this thing has a random chance to drop once every 20 minutes to get the key to unlock the second Forge. He's like, I had to pay money to then get random chance at certain times of certain hours. He was pissed.
He's obnoxious, so I don't know.
I'll bet they'll change. They'll end up changing something like that, though. I mean, people aren't just going to take that laying down. I mean, yeah, I like the switch from the casual side of things.
Yeah,
because D2 launch was fucking like terrible, just awful.
Well, every Destiny launch has been terrible.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that, but I bet they'll end up changing.
Oh yeah, almost certainly. Lightning. Just like with the power level being too high, they bumped it down so people would be a bit easier. Yeah. It is. It's one of those living games. Things are going to change all the time. They're going to release something, and they might have to fix it a little bit. You know, there's a lot of games that do that. But I do. I see a lot of people saying that it's too hard. I understand making it a little bit easier, but that's the whole point. Destiny Escalation Protocol was fucking impossible when it came out.
It's still a
Oh, it's
grind
still
and a
hard.
half.
Yeah. Did you get the shotgun?
No, I ended up stopping doing it because like people just kind of disappeared. So I was
Right.
just like,
That does
all right.
happen.
So,
But that's what this guy's using in the video is that shotgun, because you punch somebody. I think you have to get a kill. No, I think you just punch, and then the damage is way higher on the shotgun. It's freaking fantastic. It's called Trench Barrel or something. But a fantastic shotgun. But yeah, I don't understand why people are so upset about, like, I have to grind. What the hell? Like, you're playing Destiny. Like, what the hell you think you're playing?
You bought a treadmill and your mat is asking you to run.
Right. And then you bought the 90-degree mode and you're like, hey, it's at 90 degrees. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. That's what you bought.
Just eat your nuts, hamster, and get on the wheel.
I think it's like, I don't know. I browse a lot of Reddit for Destiny and a couple other games I play. I think it's a case of the Reddit hive mind, if anything. One person will say something, it'll gain a little bit of traction, and then that just becomes the case for everyone. Like,
it's just weird that day one it came out, and Destin was one of these people. They were like, this sucks. But dude, you've been here 5 minutes. Like, you haven't got to try the food yet. Your server hasn't been here yet. Chill the fuck out.
You've had the cup of water.
Yes.
It was warm. I mean, he had a reason to complain. But then the rest of the service probably caught up.
But it's crazy because, like, all those people that complain, they're like, oh, yeah, so I did the forge, and I get it now. It's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. I just don't get it. People just get so mad about things.
They're like, oh, it's too hard. It's high level. Well, the whole point, I mean, even Bungie said going forward, it's end game. Like, the focus is end game.
Yeah.
You wanted end game. Here's end game. We are upping the light level. You've grinded fucking Forsaken for, I don't know what, 3 months? 4 months?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to complain because you have to grind it a little bit more. They even said it's not a traditional DLC. Like,
well, it's 9 months of DLC. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, it's content spread. I don't understand what people expect. I mean, like, they said, this is not going to be like, this is not Warmind. This is not Curse of Osiris.
And it's not Forsaken.
Yeah, it's not a traditional DLC story. It's $35 and you get like 9 months of content. Like, what?
Every week something is gonna happen.
You can't even.
Cool.
Exactly. Like, what do you like? What shooter looter MMO type game? I mean, consistently does something like that. I can name one, and they don't do a lot of patches, or most of their weekly updates are patches.
What's that?
I still play it. Oh, I'm gonna bring back some memories, maybe for somebody. Anybody remember RuneScape when they were younger?
Oh,
they still do their weekly updates. They don't operate off expansions or anything like that. A lot of the weeks are patch notes, but it's still a game that gets updated weekly.
Right.
I think
a lot of people that want, they're like, Black Armor should have been free. Why? What constitutes free? What constitutes paid? I don't understand. Like,
why? Yeah. What makes you think this should be free? I mean, okay, yeah, we got like the April update for free, but that was like one drop in the pan to get us through until not for D2 but for D1.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I came in at the very end of D1.
Yeah, so in like I don't know if you were there for it. So like between Taken King and Rise of Iron,
right?
Like there was 9 months of nothing. Literally like nothing. They ended up re-adding in the Prison of Elders. To a degree, it wasn't exactly the same.
Okay.
And gave it away for free.
Okay, I think I remember that. But I think that was about the time that we jumped back in.
Yeah, it was about the size of what the Black Armory is now.
Yeah.
But you're getting so much more than that, like down the road. Like if you would take 5 seconds to think about it, oh, okay, 30, $34.99 or whatever it is for the annual pass isn't that bad.
No, and I think, by the time we get to the next actual, that's one thing I wish they would stop calling it an expansion. I don't know if Bungie actually has, but other people are. It's a annual pass. It's DLC, just like Warmind and Osiris were DLC, and Forsaken is an expansion. There's a difference. But I haven't got the chance to get Black Armor yet. I'm hopefully going to do it soon. It looks awesome to me. All these weapons look incredible.
The gear is really nice looking. I wish they would have, a couple things I wish they would have done, and I'm hoping they still do. Vendors need refreshes.
Yeah.
There's like no new exotic armor for Black Armory.
Somebody found something. Somebody found a frame or something of a piece of armor.
Oh, okay. So they may have added a couple.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like we're in week 1 of this thing or whatever. Shit could happen.
I don't know. I don't have it yet. I'm nowhere near like being able to use any of it, so I haven't bothered to buy it yet. I'm going to.
Right. Do you have Forsaken?
I do. Okay. I bought the base Forsaken. I was a little skeptical of the annual pass because, Curse of Osiris was.
Yes, I'm 100% with you there. Curse of Osiris and Warmind were both. Well, Warmind was all right.
Warmind was it was the start of them turning it around, in my opinion, and that's how I went into Warmind. I was like, okay, they're starting to acknowledge, oh shit, we really did fuck up.
Yeah, I played Warmind, like, I played through the campaign and went, oh, that's it, and walked away. Like, I didn't do Escalation Protocol, I didn't hunt any of the little things, I didn't do any of that, so I fucked up. And I think a lot of people did that, though. Because once you finished it, they didn't say, hey, go over here. They just kind of fucked off and left you alone.
Yeah, I
think by the time you get it, it'll probably be pretty well fleshed out and everything. Probably the same for me, so...
I might just get it in a little bit. I might get it like, next week or, 2 weeks down the road, but, in advance, but still, it's, I think it's cool that they're doing something different that, most people, not even most people, but most games don't do. So you don't see like Warframe putting out like, weekly updates and stuff like that. I mean, they roll things in and out of the vault, every so often, but still, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's a welcome change.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're focusing on endgame is what people wanted. You wanted hardcore. You wanted hardcore grinding, and you wanted Bungie to recognize Destiny as a hobby again, and that's what this is, I think.
Yep, we're getting back to that.
Yeah, we're not gonna get that the D1 level of stuff, I don't think. I really there's a lot I'd like to see them do, and I don't think it's going to come close yet. That's fine because Division 2 comes out next year. But
yeah, comes out 3 months.
March 17th. I've got it marked. I'm waiting.
I'm excited. We got to get you over on PC though. You got to drop this PlayStation crap.
I can't. All the boys here.
No.
PC,
no means no.
PC Master Race, keyboard, mouse.
But have we talked about before, Jake? The thing when I was in a different Discord and I was talking about like.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah. My phone decided to just go off in the middle of.
Yeah. I was talking about my strong dislike of Destiny.
Oh yeah,
personally
we've talked about that.
But like the thing with Bungie and their potential to make other games.
Right.
I don't think we talked about that because I dug deep because I was curious as to when Bungie can move on and do something I care about again.
Yeah, I think you've talked about that before. Because you were talking about how they have so many years left of their contract and.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like the idea of the 10-year was just based on like their release schedule they had planned for the 4 Destiny games the contract covers. So the last game was expected to be released in 2020. So like, unless Activision absolves the contract, you're on the
That's
hook
not
for
gonna
2 more
happen.
Destinies.
No, I think this might be the last Destiny we get, at least
I-
from Bungie.
I think we'll get one more.
By 2020. Well,
Well, no,
there is a
like
rumor going
the
around.
years are irrelevant.
Okay,
It's the contract
the
is
number
strictly
of-
based on the
yeah.
quantity of games.
I gotcha. So there is a rumor going around that Bungie is going to release Destiny 3 and spin off the game to someone else, like Vicarious Visions, because that's what
Yeah.
they're working with right now.
Well, they've got, Activision has, Raven Software, Vicarious Visions, Beenox. They've got all these studios that work on so many games.
Yeah, I bet it would be
that are
Vicarious
all
because they're the
shooters.
ones that worked on Forsaken.
Yeah, because Vicarious wrapped up the Crash trilogy, and Beenox is the ones who are doing the Crash Team Racing.
Okay.
So they're full in on support for Destiny and Black Ops 4. So yeah, they could probably go full time Destiny stuff.
Yeah, I think eventually Bungie is going to want to make something else.
Yeah, because they've got that money from Private Division,
Oh,
which
right.
Private Division had 2 different games shown off at the Game Awards that they had put money into. So they're investing pretty heavily in a lot of studios.
Yeah, let's go ahead
So-
and talk about what we've been playing this week so that we can get over to the Game Awards. We're already 50 minutes in. So me and you both play the Gardens Between. And
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's on Game Pass. It came out just at the end of last week, and yeah, I mean it's just this really cool, chill puzzle game where you're rolling forward and backwards in time, and looking at these dioramas of these 2 people, they're friends, and these weird worlds that are constructed out of their memories.
Yeah, it's literally the controls are left and right, back in time, forward in time, and A. That's it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Man, it is a very intricate game, and I love it because it's one of those games where I get to go, I got it. Okay, I figured it out. You have that aha moment, and I love that shit. The thing that it reminds me the most of, oddly, is The Room. Do you ever play that like on mobile? I think it's also on Switch now. You ever see those?
Yeah,
games?
but I think they have like multiple. I think they have a collection of the Room games on Switch.
Those games are amazing. I'm not big into puzzle games, but I buy every one of the Room games that come out. I'm playing one right now. It's one of those things I play every once in a while. But this game, I love things so much where, like, I was playing a level today where I knew the one girl had to go down the steps, but she wouldn't walk down there. So then I realized, okay, so if I block the one path, and then I back up time, okay, now she's going down that path. Oh, okay, so now her trail, if I go back in time, that's just her trail now. So, and little things like, is this the level? Oh yeah, this when you walk over to the remote and you kind of stop time on her with her hand on like the rewind button, and then the tape pops out and that's your path. Like, it's just so much little brilliant things.
Yeah, there's one puzzle that has like an old school like dot matrix printer and a computer.
That's what I was just about to bring up.
And you've got to find like the code looking at this little spinner box that shows you the numbers, and then you've got to kind of like jump back and forth, like wiggle back and forth to like double tap 6 and then press 4 and then hit 7 because she only steps on like 3 numbers. So you've got to like figure out the exact pattern of going forward and backwards to punch in the code to print out the piece of paper that then shows the thing you need to move forward. And then you got to flip the printer over to a different thing print the next thing.
Yeah.
And as the page flies over,
yeah.
And like behind the page, like on the page, you see the old school like dot matrix printout of an 8-bit icon of the thing. And as the page falls down in front of it, then you see like the little lantern thing you need to light,
like a
or you'll see, yeah, it's cool. Like there's moments where you'll see in this one, there's old TV of like old school video games, and as you go forward and backwards, like the character jumps into the game. And then you can get the little lantern lit and then pull it back out. Now your lantern's lit and you can light the beacon to get out of the level and move forward.
Yeah,
so just really, really chill, really cool.
It's just a super clever puzzle game. I haven't had to look up anything. Like, I'm really bad when I'm playing puzzle games. I'll be like, I'm just going to look it up. With this, I'll spend 20 minutes just going back and forth, back and forth. All right, what did I miss? Like, oh, I got to do this to make her go that way, or I got to put this on the little lantern guy, and he's going to jump over there. Like, I just did the one with the little, the robots. I don't know, they're like robots or something. What are they? Like, little lantern guys.
Yeah.
But, so there's a radio up towards the top. And if you're playing, like, techno music, there's one little robot jumping around. If you switch it to rock, another little robot jumps around. Switch it to something else, there's a third robot that jumps around. So you have to get them in the correct order to jump by each other at certain... It's wild. It's very hard to describe. It's really, you just gotta go play it.
The only puzzle that really ever gave me much grief is the very last one, because like the answer for one just kind of seemed weird and obtuse, and the answer for the other was just so fucking obvious I overlooked it.
Right, I've done that too.
And yeah, that was the one that took me the longest. But then once I figured it out, I was like, "Oh, are you fucking kidding me? That was it." And then you get, the emotional payout for the story of these two friends.
I hope so.
And yeah, it's just like great presentation, great style.
And it's only a couple hours long.
Yeah, like my whole playthrough here, start to finish, was 2 hours.
2 hours 15.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
highly recommend, especially if you have Game Pass.
Yeah, there's a lot of like small detail animations and stuff wiggling in the background that is not mission critical. That is just all flavor for the style and the payoff of these emotions between these two friends and their journey through this as they try to, cope with, the world.
Pretty much.
Huh, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool game.
Yeah, that looked real interesting.
So,
yeah, it's not like Talos Principle or The Witness where in game you got to really like fucking Wikipedia and video search and cross reference.
Yeah, The One is such a cool game, and it broke my brain. So, I got a couple of little things I want to talk about before we get into Smash Brothers. I played the demo for Katamari Damacy Reroll on Switch.
Yeah.
I gotta get... Dude, right now I'm so torn between the Destiny 2 Annual Pass and Katamari Damacy.
Well, here's your answer, Jacob.
Shut up, troll.
Na 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 na.
God, what
like
a
it's
good game,
cancer.
man.
Like you can't not think about it now. Like it's stuck.
Beowulf and Fates, are you guys familiar with Katamari Damacy?
I am.
I am not. No.
Oh
This is
man,
such a random ass game to bring up. You literally just you're a little ball. Is it gonna show you gameplay? Come on.
yeah.
So you're a little ball and you just roll things up, and the more things you have in your ball, the bigger you get, and eventually you're rolling up buildings and people. Just it's absolutely bonkers, like, but it's so addictive.
You know what's crazy? Looking at this trailer, I had forgotten like the actual like full names of like the King of all Cosmos and the Prince here.
Right.
So like I forgot the pun about their names. So it was like, the Prince's name, his name in Japanese is the Prince of Oji. Oji is Japanese for Prince. So like their names are literally the Prince of Prince, the King of King, the Queen of Queen.
Oh Lord.
There's a lot of
Well, yeah,
dumb humor in the game too.
Yeah. The whole premise of this is like the king of all cosmos, your dad, got drunk and lost all the stars in the sky.
Nice.
So now you, as the prince, are grabbing this Katamari to gather junk off of the earth to send out into the space to replace all the stars before the wife gets home and gets mad at him.
Right, so basically you're taking everything on Earth and you're going to turn it into a burning fucking sun. That's pretty dark.
Nice.
Yeah, it escalates to the point of like you're picking up like thumbtacks and little poker chips and stuff like that, to the point to where you're rolling up like entire continents, a Godzilla. There's a dude that looks like Zeus throwing thunderbolts you're picking up out of a cloud in midair. Like you eventually scale to rip up the entire Earth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's super crazy and weird. And the music is so catchy.
It is. I need that game back
like,
in my life so bad.
Like literally, like the little intro, na 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 na. Like there was a day at work, like I had just randomly thought about Katamari Damacy and went to YouTube and listened to the soundtrack.
It's come up on our podcast a lot. Like,
and then for a solid week, I was just literally like randomly doing shit, and all of a sudden I hear na na na, fuck, get out of my head, demons be gone, the power of Christ compels you. Like it just keeps lurking back in.
Power of the Prince compels you.
Yeah, but man, that's such a fun game. I want them to make a new one, so I hope a lot of people buy this Switch port.
Yes, exactly. If everyone buys this, we'll get a new one. That's what we need. We need a new Katamari Damacy. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do though. Do you roll up the galaxy? I don't know.
Well, the guy who created the series went on to make like Nabi Nabi Boy, and he's got another game that's being worked on that hasn't come out yet. That's also super weird in Japanese. I can't remember the name right now.
Sounds like something you should not Google search.
Right.
Well, so Nabi Nabi Boy is also super random. So like Nabi Nabi Boy is like this weird like caterpillar kind of dude, and you do like puzzle solving and weird stuff in this cute like weird almost like diorama world. But he's got a girlfriend that is stretching out into space and is trying to go all the way out into space and reach a planet and turn around and come back. And the progress of her through that was based on player progression. So then like it became this online game of guys playing this dumb, weird game and just constantly seeing the girlfriend stretch and like fly through the cosmos. And she finally got to the planet and turned around like 2 years ago. And then I think they shut down the servers on PS3 and everybody cried.
All right. So speaking of Japanese games, I also finished Pokemon. Do we have any Pokemon players in here?
No.
I used to back in the day. I like back the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I played them.
Do you have a Switch?
I do not yet. I'm wanting to get one.
Should get a Switch.
You're not missing much. No.
Should get a Switch and get this, because man, it is a blast from the past. It is exactly the same as the old games, but 3D and quality of life changes and just everything you would want. The game is
because it's a rough remake of Pokemon Yellow.
Yes,
but with some other newer features and some of the Let's Go features from Pokemon Go kind of mixed in.
Right, everybody. That's what nobody likes about it. It's like, oh, it has something to do with Pokemon Go. Like, not really. Like, you can transfer your Pokemon Go into the park. That's it.
And you don't battle Pokemon when you catch them.
That's a good thing. It's such a good thing. Because those random battles slow you down so much, and they don't with this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about, like, the random battles are gone, but also, like, if you see a Pokemon, you walk into them.
Yeah, I guess that's not something I associate with Pokemon Go.
You don't have to worry about accidentally knocking the Pokemon out you're trying to catch.
Right, that's nice. And when you do battle, like, legendary birds, you do have to battle them. And when you knock them out, then you catch them. Yeah. See, I beat
So you employ the Cosby method.
Damn.
Wow.
Jeez.
He went there.
So yeah, I beat the Elite Four. I am the Pokemon champion, and now what the game is getting up to level 75 to go catch Mewtwo, and then defeating all the master trainers. There are, I think it's 150. I would assume master trainers in the game now.
There's a lot of them because
Yeah.
they all specialize in, if not an individual Pokemon,
yeah,
like a bunch of types. But yeah, that whole stuff opens up at the end.
Yep. So you
and it's crazy.
They master one Pokemon, and you have to beat them. And I don't know what to get when you do that. I think it might just be an in-game thing. But yeah, I did battle the Cloyster Master, and she basically just light screen and another defensive thing and protect, which just blocks a move one turn, and poisoned me and fucking turtled. It was so aggravating. So I gotta figure out some way
old
around
Command
that.
and Conquer.
Yeah, no shit.
Hmm.
And Pokemon.
But I saw something earlier today. I need to look back into it. But apparently somebody beat the final 4 Pokemon trainers using only a level 3 like Weedle, or not Weedle, but a Kakuna.
I don't know how.
Some nonsense. Like they use a super low level Pokemon to beat the Elite 4.
Okay. I don't know.
I was like, and I looked at the guy, and he was like, "So let me guess, they just wanted to harden their experience."
Wow. Yeah, that's it. That's my little Pokemon update. Without Bob and Rocktillery here, it's a little hard to talk about. But you also played Smash Brothers, which has Pokemon in it.
Yeah. So it's weird. I've not played much yet. I haven't played Smash since the N64, so it's been just short of 20 years ago.
Damn.
Right.
But man, like the World of Light sucks. Like, don't let anybody trick you into thinking World of Light is okay. Like, it's got some cool moments, but the majority of World of Light is just mindless bullshit.
So far, I've pretty much just, from even the people that love it, like Tim Geddes, I don't want this game because they're like, oh yeah, it takes like 12 hours to unlock everybody. You gotta do it one at a time, and the World of Light's not great, and this mode's not great, and but fighting against friends is where it's at. But you gotta go through all this bullshit to get there.
You don't have to. So the World of Light is completely optional.
Right.
You can unlock every character pretty quickly through all of their modes fairly simply.
Okay.
But the thing is like when I first started, like having, like I know the basic rules of Smash, but I just didn't literally know what the buttons do because I don't play the Nintendo
you said
much.
That in Discord that you couldn't find like how to do things.
Yeah, I was like, hey guys, I just want to know what the fuck A does, what B does. Why did I have this right analog stick? What does it do?
Figure it out, pussy.
Yeah. So like if you leave the game alone, like when you start it up and you're looking at the start screen, you know that thing for decades now, you just instinctively skip past every single time. It starts up a video that kind of is like a tutorial video that runs you through like, okay, here's the map boundaries. You do damage to knock people out further to have a better chance of KOing them. But the on-screen button prompts it shows you in this video are color-coded to the GameCube controller and don't say the button, they say what the button does. So if you're sitting there holding like the Joy-Cons or any other controller that's not a GameCube controller, you're just like, how the fuck does this help me, guys?
Why did they
what
do
the
that?
That's Japanese.
I don't know. Like, it's so dumb. You had to go like deep just to figure out what the fucking buttons do. And there are like good button options. Don't get me wrong. Like once I figured out the weird fucking Enigma code to get to the control schemes, it's great. You had to go to options, go to controls, and when you open up controls, it just has a thing like, all right, name your control profile or turn menu rumble on or off. It's like, where the fuck's this picture in every video game for the past 20 years that shows me what the buttons do? Bottom left of that screen, you can set like your default control preferences. And then based on what input type you're using, you can set different button mappings for each 3 sets, which was super cool. It's like you name your profile, like I named it TrollBeard. Then it has, while the Switch is docked using, Pro Controller or Joy-Cons, whatever, these are your button mappings you can set. If it's undocked, just using the Joy-Cons, you can have these button mappings. Or if you plug in a GameCube controller, you can button map that separately. So that's all cool. But it took me way too long to figure out that's how to even see what the fucking buttons do.
Yeah.
Just to know that, oh, hey, the smash attacks, which can be, operated by pressing A and B together, are on the right analog stick. Because like, I remember this fucking stupid C stick on the game controller did something in Smash. And it's just like, you can't remap the smash attack to any of the face buttons, which bugs me because there's 2 fucking jump buttons. X and Y on the Switch are both jump buttons. It's like, let me make one of those a smash button, you fuck. Like, you let me remap everything else possible on all these other things. But the one thing, the smash attack, I can't just like say, hey, make this button be A and B. Like every Tekken, every Mortal Kombat, every fucking Soul Calibur, you can just queue up a button combo for one of you.
With weird stuff like that, like, is there a reason why they did that?
It's because it's bullshit. Like, like all the other misses they have with like quality of life. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you like Smash, if you know how to play Smash, if you enjoy Smash, this game is fan-fucking-tastic. Like, it feels great once you know how to play it, and it works well. And I haven't had many people have, like, drastically bad online experiences yet.
Right.
So everything other than the World of Light seems to be peachy. It's just there's always some small, like, quality of life dumb complaint. Like, it wasn't until this game after, Melee, Brawl, Wii U, that they gave you the option to save like your custom like game settings.
Right.
It's like everybody who ever played Smash always did, no time limit, just lives.
Do you guys play?
And you had to go every single time you started the game back up and change that setting back over. Mm-hmm. Every single round. But yeah, like
so annoying.
Yeah, so like that's a thing that they just figured out now, like 20 years later.
God almighty.
But it's like the basic things they miss, but then they go into so many details in so many other areas. It's like, what the hell, guys? But
so,
Fates,
do you have a Switch?
No. I rock my PS4 and now the PC.
Damn. So I think we have a history of always having Switch guys on this podcast now.
Yeah, I never bother with Nintendo. It's been a long time.
Yeah, this is my first Nintendo. Well, I guess I have a 2DS, but I don't like it. I had a Wii, I guess, but I never played it. But yeah, I am not so much a Nintendo guy either, but this console is really, really good.
Yeah, I lost touch with Nintendo when the original PlayStation came out. It's just like
right
after playing Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation the first time through and not having a memory card, I was like, I gotta get this shit so I can get a memory card. It's like Jesus.
So it's not all that bad to unlock everything.
No, like they've already got all like the videos and how to do this the quickest. Like there's only 8 characters unlocked from the start, but there's like 70 overall.
Jesus.
So like even best case scenario, it takes you like 2.5 hours.
How many characters was in the first one? Like maybe what, 25, 30?
No, the first one on 64 had 8 unlocked and 2 you could unlock through.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was
Mewtwo and
it was Ness and somebody else.
In the original?
Yeah, Ness was in the original because he had the stupid. Because he had the weird, stupid like spark fart that threw him back up onto the map. Like Ness was the OG fucking, edge guard guy because you could never knock him off the map. Like he would just like jump, you'd throw him way out there, and he'd jump, double jump, and hit his up B, and he'd have this like weird spark that flies and hits him in the butt and throws him up higher. So like you could like launch that man fucking 3 football fields away, and if somebody knew what they were doing, they could make it back, and it would drive you crazy.
That's weird. I don't remember him being in the original at all. But I guess I was a kid then. I would have tried to unlock him or anything.
Yeah, but so yeah, they've now got every single character from every Smash in this one, plus new ones. Yeah. Also, the thing I have a feeling is gonna break me from like regularly playing this game online is, hey, if you want to play with your friends, you got to use the fucking Nintendo app to invite them into your lobby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's weird. They're doubling down on the fucking Nintendo app.
Oh wow. See, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that shit bugs me. Cause yeah, like all of their online games they have for the Switch, they fuck it up somehow. like even if the actual connectivity works, like getting into the stuff is like a pain in the ass, which there's like a super like upvoted and like it's got 3 Reddit goals right now on the Nintendo Switch subreddit. Damn. It's like Mario Tennis Aces, you're not allowed to choose specific number of sets you'd like to play. On Splatoon 2, like you can't play just specific maps or modes, they're on a rotation. So like there's these 2 maps every 2 hours, and then on these hours you can play the Horde mode. In Mario Party, like you can't just do the board game online, you can only do the mini games. And now Smash Bros. Ultimate, like the way the matchmaking works, there's like an ELO like from like League and Dota. There's like a matchmaking rating. You can't just like you and your buddy on your Switch play 2v2 online against your other buddy and his friend on their Switch. Like there's all sorts of weird like design choices of as far as their online works where they just like fuck it up for like the basic stuff you're just used to doing everywhere else.
That's so bizarre.
Wow.
That's Nintendo for you.
But yeah, like I
said,
said,
very frustrating.
The game itself, fan-fucking-tastic. But yeah, like whatever people were complaining about, like the spirits in World of Light, they were right. When Tim Geddes described it as being, hey, let's do dumb shit for JPEGs. That's pretty much what it is, because it adds these arbitrary like rock, paper, scissors, like stat boost mechanics in the background.
Yeah, that does not sound enjoyable.
So there's all these weird scenarios. Like there was one where I was fighting like a big King K. Rool, and like every few seconds he'd flip between moving super slow and being heavy, and it was hard to knock him away, to being super light and moving super fast, and then it was easier to knock him out. Like it was all these weird like stat flips and special conditions they were throwing in.
That's in the World of Light.
That's in the World of Light. Like
that sounds like Soul Calibur 2, the adventure mode.
There's
like
the Master Tower.
That's exactly what that sounds like. But that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fun. Yeah,
because it had like a better sense of you just going into the thing and not having to every single one of these things go to your spirits menu, reassign the thing that helps you survive this mode, and then do the bullshit. Because like there's one where I was playing, it was like to unlock the spirit for like the girl from Pikmin, I was fighting Olimar, and for whatever reason, like he regains health the whole time, and just like does super damage. Like there are times where I was like trying to, now mind, this is me still not knowing exactly even what all the fucking buttons do.
Yeah.
Then also this guy like 3 hits me. Like I get hit once and I'm at like 38% on the meter. I'm like, what the fuck? Like he barely touched me. and then he hits me again, and then power smashes me, and I'm flying, and I'm reset. Like some of those rounds of me going at it were like over in like 25 seconds.
Yeah, it sounds like I won't be doing that mode very much.
Yeah, but if you just play like the classic mode, which is like your standard, like everyday, like arcade mode in a fighting game, or you just start playing like competitively, like with your friends, yeah, you'll unlock the new challenger appear screen all the time. And even if you don't win that fight, you can go back at the main menu.
That's cool.
And queue up all the fights that you've accumulated.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just, it sucks they didn't give you an option to just say, hey, hit this button or punch in this code to unlock everybody, because all you want to do is play with your friends, and you don't want to have to fucking take a week before you can invite your friends over to get the characters they want to play as in Smash.
Right.
It's just a weird oversight of like convenience and quality of life, like you guys are talking about with Destiny, and like we mentioned about Black Ops, with some of the things they need to do. It's just,
Nintendo
man,
might not do them, unlike Bungie and Activision.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's such a different game than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday, so I'm probably gonna go deep down the rabbit hole and boot camp my fat ass through.
And I think Bob's got it as well. So I don't know if Rocktillery got it or not. I have to check with them. I probably won't be getting it for a while. It's not like a demanding game for me. I would much rather have Katamari and the Destiny Pass than buy that. But I will get it eventually. But for now, because I'm sure we're going to talk about Smash a lot in the coming weeks, let's go ahead and move on to the Game Awards. Because there was a lot of stuff come out of that. Let's see. So, and really, we're not going to go over a whole lot of it because, we did do the watch along. You guys can go back and watch that if you want. But there was some really cool stuff announced. See, I've got like a trailer compilation here. I'm super excited about Mortal Kombat. And I love the way they announced it with the spike coming out of the screen and Ed Boon being like, sorry about that. Beowulf, Fates, did you guys watch the Game Awards?
I have not had a chance to watch it, but I'm actually going to go back and watch y'all's stream and watch it. And I know a few things. I know who got Game of the Year and things like that. But I didn't get a chance to.
Right.
Like I'm glad to watch, because I've been wanting to watch this the trailer for Mortal Kombat, because I loved Mortal Kombat back in the day.
Yeah, and Fates was there with us when we were watching it.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat I'm excited about. I did notice that they're using weapons a lot more, so hopefully we're going to get the weapon styles back. I love that, and I don't know which Mortal Kombat that was, but that was like original
Mortal
Xbox?
Kombat. Well, Mortal Kombat 3 really started bringing in weapons, but like the weapon styles you swapped out of, I think was Mortal Kombat 9. Somewhere around there.
It was Ultimate Alliance or Deception or one of those.
Yeah, because I remember when a Cabal got first added way back in the arcades. That's when they had the dual little weird curved blade swords.
Yeah.
That was when they first started bringing weapons as regular equipment in, and then people hated it. And they didn't do that for a few years, and then brought it back with the weapon styles.
I loved it, having two different fighting styles and a third weapon style. I love that. And of course, this is the weird big bad. I like that we're getting a new big bad. That's cool. It's not going to be Shang Tsung or Quan Chi again or one of them guys.
Yeah. I just wish I didn't hate the way Mortal Kombat games feel. Like I love Mortal Kombat and what it stands for and all the goofy shit they do.
Yeah.
But I'd rather set my pubes on fire than play it. Like, I just hate the
Wow.
I can't stand it. Like,
wow.
It's just like slow and clunky and specific. It's like, oh, this is like the input style. Same reason why I don't like Dark Souls. It's like,
sure.
yeah, like I I love watching like the compilations of some of the story moments and all the like
The story
fatalities
is
and stuff.
fantastic, yeah.
But it's like literally like just break my fingers before I play that game again.
Let's see. The next interesting trailer I see on here is Anthem, which I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I'm gonna pick up or not.
Well, they just started today the like the alpha test stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's all under NDA, but you know people are gonna leak that stuff.
Yeah, I need to play that. This is a game I really need to try, but with Destiny having its hooks in me and the Division 2 coming out, like, this game's gonna have to be fucking incredible for me to give a shit.
Yeah.
I've already got 2 looter shooters that I love.
Anthem lacks PvP, and that's a big draw for me. Why? I love playing Destiny PvP. I love running in the Dark Zone in Division.
Yeah.
The fact that they're like, no, we're not doing PvP, like months, like even before E3. I don't know. I mean, like the PvE side of this would have to like blow my fucking mind. Like it would have to be so good, and they would have to. The updates to it would have to keep that up. I mean, it launches like a little less than a month before Division 2. I'm just like, that's
right.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna have to be like the greatest game of all time to pull me away from Division 2, or Division 2 is gonna have to be really garbage, which I don't think it will be.
I don't think either. I mean, Division 2 or Division 1 after the 1.8 update is fantastic.
I mean, hopefully, because, you know, with Destiny 1, when everything was said and done, they're like, yeah, but Destiny 2 is going to launch great because they learned so much. Hopefully the same thing doesn't happen with the Division.
Well,
and it's like, guys, you learned.
If they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, here's some here's some static rolls. We know that, you know, stay away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm extremely excited about Division 2. The Dark Zone is so stressful. That is the most stressful thing in video games.
I love it. I love
It's great.
I love being able to run through with a group. It's just Division 2 is going to be amazing. I mean,
I'm surprised we didn't see anything from Division 2 at the Game Awards or anything. But I guess they got their marketing out there. Maybe they'll start marketing.
They did that. They've started to post a little bit all on their Twitter. In between, you know, still promoting, you know, Division.
We'll probably get a lot in January and February.
I imagine even as this month winds down, I'm sure we'll end up getting a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you follow Ubisoft on like their YouTube pages, like they just regularly like, roll out like behind the scenes like developer update stuff on all their games and events you'd never heard of, where they show off some stuff about the game and until they drop like big trailers, no one ever talks about it. But there's a lot of info you can find on their YouTube pages.
Yeah.
I'd also like to see them even expand their PvP past. I know they had you know, like a standard PvP mode in Division 1. I don't think it was popular in the least bit.
Yeah, I played a bunch of PvP in the Division.
I'd like to see them push it a little bit more.
Yeah, Division 1's PvP was super meta heavy. Like, there was only 2 guns you could really use.
Yeah.
If you weren't using them, you got steamrolled. So it's extremely hard to get into. I really tried for a while getting into it, and I could not because I didn't have the house and I didn't have something else. So I just got steamrolled. I talked to people about it in the chat rooms, and they're like, just don't. If you don't have friends, you don't have this gear set, just don't. Which just sucks. That's crazy. But at the same time, I was playing the Division. I had plenty of shit to do.
Oh yeah. I mean, the only reason I would like to see that is like Destiny 1. I mean, like when I ran, like, all right, I maxed out all my characters or whatever, I would immediately just
PvP is what you did.
PvP was my my automatic default. It was just, all right, well, I'm done. I have all my exotics. Let's just go wreck some fools in the Crucible.
Pretty much.
I'd like to, have that option with Division 2 instead of having to say like boot up Call of Duty or
Right.
boot up Destiny.
Yeah, we need a good third-person shooter PvP. I can't really think of any off the top of my head.
But yeah, I mean,
well, you'll get Gears 5 next year.
I'm so over Gears, dude. I have started Gears 4 like 10 times, and every time I'm like, "All right, here we go." I'm like, "Oh, all right, this is boring." Like, I don't care about any of these characters anymore.
Like Gears 4 doesn't like do much great, but it does have a slow start. But there's some cool stuff like through the midway towards the end.
Yeah,
and the end has like a super dumb giant robot fight, which is cool.
All right, you convinced me. I might try it 11th time.
But yeah, like that's the thing is like I just wish I remotely cared about the Division. Like
you're not into looter shooters.
No, like the RPG grind.
Yeah.
Like it could be shot in the head and left in the street as an example to everyone else tomorrow.
Why are you so violent with everything you don't like? Jesus.
Jeez, man.
I am
like
full on that treadmill.
I'm gonna get you some help.
Well, you're not wrong. But
let's move on to something you do like, because they announced. I think you like. They announced Far Cry New Dawn. Holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah,
it looks like they're not going to try to. I hope they learned from their hideous mistakes with the narrative of Far Cry 5 and focus more on what this looks like to be like crazy, wacky fun.
Yeah.
Which outside of the story of Far Cry 5 was that. Like it was just, hey, go do all this crazy stuff. But then like the narrative of Far Cry 5 just randomly like you hit a certain like progress checkpoint and then okay, you're just gonna get randomly darted in the middle of nowhere and now you're gonna get monologued at by this bad guy in this region. Like there was stuff there, but they just fucked up the delivery every single step of the way.
Yeah, I know there's been a handful of, and I've been told this personally by friends, are like, so they're just reskinning the map. That's dumb. Like, no, that's not dumb. It's what they've usually do, right? Like that Primal was the same as 4, wasn't it?
It was the same map geometry, but they did a lot more than you would think.
Which is probably going to be the same here.
Well, no, this is like directly. Well, there's a new area they go to in this game, but otherwise, this is the same like Montana map because this is.
Oh, definitely. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of buildings that are different. Like
locations are different.
It's going to be dramatically different. So I'm looking forward to that. I reinstalled 5. So I'm gonna finish it.
It's a $40 standalone direct sequel to a game, so it's not a $60 expansion. It's $40.
Just crazy looking weapons and this looks like.
I like that ramp truck. It reminds me of the good old days of Vice City.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. I'll be picking that up. And Father's still alive. That's wild. Let's see what else we got here. Fortnite. We already talked about. What the hell is this? This Rage. This must be Rage.
Yeah, Rage 2 looks like big dumb fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Far Cry New Dawn on steroids. We've talked about, I played a little bit of Rage, but you even said it's like a mediocre game, right?
Yeah, even in the time, like it, like the guns, the weapons, that stuff felt good. The AI was cool for the time, and some of the animations and the presentation were great. But it was just like it was trying to be open world in some segments, but ended up still being like an old school like corridor, like Quake or Unreal, like the actual game, story games of Unreal, not the tournament games that were just all multiplayer only. It was just point A to point B, do this thing, get back out to your truck, and then drive off, and then go to the next spot. And that it was essentially like a weird corridor between the actual levels of the game.
I feel like sometimes these games come out like Rage, where it's almost like a proof of concept, and they're like, okay, people are into this. Now go build what you actually want to build. That happens
Yeah,
sometimes. Like I
that's
think it happened with Wolfenstein. It's happening with Doom, even though the first Doom was pretty good. But they're gonna
horribly
build on
boring,
that.
but played great.
Yeah, exactly. No, it played great. So hopefully Doom 2 will be much more interesting.
Well, that same kind of thing happened with Titanfall. Like, look at how
Yes.
successful Titanfall 2 was and how
Titanfall is
much smoother.
fantastic, and then Titanfall 2 is just one of the best games of all time.
Well, again, Division 2 coming
Yeah.
up, talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what's next. This isn't all the trailers. These are apparently just the best trailers.
Yeah, the only other thing really like that looks super interesting is
The
you know
Savage Planet.
they put out like a super early tease for the next Dragon Age game, and then the
Yeah.
Outer Worlds.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find here is Outer Worlds. See, random survival co-op bullshit.
Yeah, there was multiple random survival co-op early access bullshit games.
I got one for you.
Oh yeah, I know where he's going.
Atlas.
Atlas. Oh my god.
I am looking forward to Atlas.
It's
Yeah,
like,
well-
oh hey, here's Fantasy Arc.
Yeah, talk
I-
about that because me and Troll
Big
are
ol'-
not MMO guys, and that
Big
game
ol'-
looks like just terrible to me.
Big old pirate MMO.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Any game that allows me to be a pirate, I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't care
So
how
basically, I mean, they took things from Ark. I mean, as soon as I
Yeah.
saw it, I was like, oh, okay, those are literally the horses from Ark. Those are the bears from Ark. They literally kind of just took some of their graphical concepts and just ported them over, which is a little strange because Ark is like fantasy and like fucking dinosaurs.
I think it's sci-fi with the Iron Man armor and all that shit.
Yeah, they added elemental armor and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, that's like endgame. That's not like normal, like every day. And most of the time, you don't see people wearing it.
Do we know? Is this a what do you call it? Is that a hot bar like in WoW? Is this that type of MMO?
I'm not sure.
the only thing I know for sure is that they mentioned like the instance servers for these maps are up to 40,000 players.
Mhm.
Yeah, the game on Steam is 100 gigabyte download.
Oh, is it out?
It started early access. That was
Oh.
what this announced trailer was
Oh,
for.
okay.
It
Yeah.
comes to PC December 13th.
Oh shit.
I will
Okay.
say this: I watched a kind of a breakdown of the announcement for it, Fate, and they said the map size is okay. So you know how big the maps are on Arc? They said it's like 1,024 times the size of
Yeah.
an Arc map.
Yeah. If it's not a hot bar bullshit, I hate those games. MMO. If this is like Ark on a massive scale, I'll play it. But I don't know. It does look so cool though. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks like it took Sea of Thieves and Ark to the next.
Well, when the trailer came on,
Yeah.
Troll was even like, "Is this Sea of Thieves?" I was like, "What? No."
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of it was just like Sea of Thieves. It looked like Sea of Thieves with like mods because
Yeah.
how like how it looked. At first, I was like, "Wait, this just looks like Sea of Thieves," and then I started reading about it and saw a little bit more. But
There are some things like this right here.
I mean, even
the
like,
giant monster swimming by. Oh my god! Hell no! That is my
even-
nightmare.
they basically they took from what I read, they took the like the breeding system and taming
Yeah.
system in Ark and kind of turned it towards basically you'd be able to control like your crew's stats and like getting better crew and
Okay.
stuff like that for your
That's
ship,
the thing.
which is
Like these guys have built an incredible game in Ark, and if they could take some of those systems and manipulate them a little bit to be an MMO, and they could have something really special here.
yeah, I'm very optimistic. I think they literally just used what Sea of Thieves built and expanded.
Look, Look, Fate, I will be a pirate today. Okay.
It looks great. I mean, it really does. I'm excited. I mean, for $30, like, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Are you guys
Yeah,
gonna be playing it when it comes out?
I probably won't get it right when it comes out, simply because I'm just a broke motherfucker.
I understand that.
Now they did say that it was probably going to stay in early access for probably, I think, about a year, 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say $30 and 4 years early access, and you'll have yourself a cool game.
It's Ark.
I mean, well, shit. I mean, shit. DayZ's still not on what, alpha?
Well, shit. Fortnite's still in beta.
PUBG's out, guys. Don't worry.
Open up the box and get a slice of a grapefruit.
Like,
that's what PUBG is.
Open world, survival, MMO. Do you want to add any more words that scared me away? Like
early access. That's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Right. I mean, early access, I mean, I don't think it even means what it used to mean anymore. I really don't.
No, it doesn't. And, like, you could even call Destiny early access.
Basically, I mean, as bad as it sounds, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is, because, like, that's how I feel about Destiny 1, because I played Destiny 1, like, a bit when it came out, and I was like, there's not a lot here. And then I bought, like, the gold edition or whatever, like, with everything, and I was like, this game is incredible! Like,
yeah.
It's a drastic difference. There's a lot of games you could call early access. Fortnite, there you go, that's early access. Like you said, it's in beta.
Yeah.
They just haven't taken that fucking sticker off yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Ark. I still do. I'm probably gonna rebuy it for PC. I mean, I ran a server for it, so I mean, I like grindy type games. Ark was grindy, and I like Destiny. Obviously, put me on that treadmill.
Yeah, I had Ark kind of ruined for me because we started playing it, and I got really into it. I built a little hut. And then all my friends were unemployed at the time, so by the time I was able to play again, they literally did everything. So they were like, okay, we're going to do the really hard stuff. Hey, how come you don't have gear? It's like, because I have a life, dude! And then I never really got to play Ark. I literally got to play cameraman and watch them do stuff. So Ark was kind of ruined for me.
I got it, right? I went on official servers, was having, fun as like somebody who's new to the game. I ended up getting stream sniped. Like this guy would follow me from server to server, just like putting me in cages and stuff.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I marked out because I'm a builder kind of guy. I marked out all the stuff I wanted to build, and I came back and one of my buddies had like erased it and built stuff other than that. He's like, yeah, but this works better here. Okay.
It's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So, what do you guys need me to do? Well, you don't have any good stats, so there's not a lot for you to do. You can go out and grind this and grind. All right, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, you stand there and look pretty. It's fine.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I want to get Ark. I think on Xbox. Is it pretty good on PlayStation?
It runs. I mean, I haven't played it since last.
It seems like with the menus and everything, it wouldn't be good on console.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it works better than you'd expect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine that's like, he relapses into Ark every now and then.
Oh, there's a free trial for Ark, isn't there? I can just do that. Pretty sure there is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's rather smooth. The only problems you really run into is if you're playing on official and you run into the mega tribes with 4,000 dinosaurs in their goddamn base, and the whole server lags. But I mean, other than that, it runs rather well on console. The action bar stuff is kind of pretty smooth in my opinion. I like it.
Well, let's keep moving because we're at an hour 44. So one of the games I'm most interested in is Outer Worlds. And because this game just looks so damn cool. And it's Obsidian. Like, they make some of the best games. Oh, Private Division. There you go, Troll. Another one of these games.
Yeah, like I said, there's another game that they also showed. Game Awards. But yeah, so Outer Worlds is they essentially kind of rebuilt. It's New Vegas in space.
Yeah, these are the guys who made the original Fallout.
And the same guys who did New Vegas.
Yes.
But so it's built on Unreal Engine 4, and it has a lot of the same like dialogue trees like you're used to seeing from say New Vegas, and a lot of the same like kind of like camera controls and camera cues when you walk up to talk to people and that zoom in. It doesn't have VATS, but it does have kind of like a slow-mo bullet time mode you need every now and then, because it's more shooter than it is than Fallout New Vegas was.
Right. But it's
Like,
also going to be way more RPG from the looks of it than New Vegas even.
Like, as far as like decision-wise goes, yeah. GameSpot had like a long breakdown of some footage and some deeper stuff in there of what they were shown and what they got to do. So yeah, like it looks like it's gonna be cool. It's weird, people are like, this is an Xbox owned studio and this game's coming out on PS4. That's gonna be weird. It's like, well, no. This was a game that they had already been funded for by Private Division, had this thing almost done before, Microsoft showed up trying to buy them.
No, I think they made this game in about 4 months, 3 months, whatever it was.
So it was just like, hey, we're fulfilling our contracts.
Yeah, that's going to happen with all those studios, probably.
Yeah.
They're all going to release games for multiple things. Probably. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. Like, I could go for a shooter like this. Like, I really like Fallout 4, even though a lot of people don't. I would like to play another Fallout type game, and this one in space, or like Borderlands. I love Borderlands. This isn't going to be quite like Borderlands, but it's up there with like that weird shit going on different planets.
Yeah, the only thing unfortunately I heard from their breakdown was like, you don't really spend any time like in outer space.
Right.
That's just kind of like old school, like traveling between planets in Mass Effect.
Sure.
Like it's just like your travel between the different parts of this planet and other planets. Yeah. Like that's your loading screen, and home base essentially is going back to the ship.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a pretty ambitious to add like a space system to a game. That's not something you just decide to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Man, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's coming out way sooner than I expected too.
When does it come out?
It doesn't look.
It's supposed to be coming out like early to mid next year.
Okay.
Like this is roughly like 6 months out.
All right, let's see. So the other things that got announced was it Scavengers? Oh, this is the survival game no one gives a shit about. The Last Campfire looked pretty neat. Cute little game.
Yeah, it's made by 2 people at Hello Games.
Yeah.
So it's not even like a chunk of the team there. It's literally 2 guys doing all the work.
Dauntless got announced for consoles. That's yeah, if you like monster hunting games, Fates, that'll be a good one for you. It's going to be free to play.
That's just as a side note, that's another game that I have not gotten to play a lot of, Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I played Monster Hunter before. I can't get into those games. Dauntless is nice though because it's casual Monster Hunter.
My problem with Monster Hunter was just the combat system is strange to me.
Yeah, like it's like you queue up your animation, hope you didn't fuck it up, and then you can roll out of the way after it's done and hope you didn't die.
Yeah, people. I mean, I guess people are used to it, but like for me, it feels odd, especially with how beautiful.
Feels like a PS2 game.
Yeah, especially with how beautiful Monster Hunter is. So it like, I don't know.
I feel like Dauntless isn't like that. Dauntless feels like Monster Hunter should. It's a hack and slash, going after the monsters. I don't think you cut off the body parts and stuff like Monster Hunter World or. Monster
You
Hunter
harvest
World.
them after like the kill,
but it's not.
You don't have to
gameplay.
You don't have to individually like attack like the horn to hopefully to get it to break to then get a chance for that piece to spawn.
And that's why I say it's a more casual Monster Hunter, which sounds great to me.
Well, it's a less obtuse Monster Hunter. Like like they're rolling on like old school rules from 20 years ago that they've not really done much except make it deeper and weirder.
Yeah, I played a bunch of Dauntless when it was first announced. I think we got invited to play it. We got invited by the devs. I reached out to them. And I enjoyed it. My one buddy that's super into Monster Hunter, he enjoyed it, but he really likes the obtuseness of Monster Hunter, so he didn't enjoy it as much as he could. But, all the different weapon systems are there. The grindiness is there. The hunting is there. And, God, it's been forever since I played it, so I'm sure they've added a shitload of stuff.
Yeah, that release trailer from the Game Awards was telling people, that A, it's launching on consoles, but B, that big update, Frostfall, I think is what it was called. The biggest content update they've done dropped last night.
Right. Yeah, so I might have to just reinstall Dauntless on my PC and play it. I'm sure I can get my Monster Hunter buddy to play it. So, I'm excited about that. I'm always excited about good free-to-play games. The other thing that got not announced, but shown off and then released was Ashen. And I played some of this, and it's a Dark Souls game. I didn't know that. So I don't know how much of it I'm going to play. The world is super interesting. It's a super beautiful game. I want to play more of it. I will play some more, but if it's going to be super hard like it is currently, I'm not going to get very far. I just don't play games like that. But the world is pretty interesting. Let's see. Combat. There's so much stuff we could go over. We'll go over more of it next week. Ancestors, Devil May Cry, Journey is coming out on PC. That's cool.
On the Epic Game Store. The Epic Game Store showed up big. It was like, hey, Epic Game Store is out today, and here's 8 games you can go play right now.
Yeah, one thing we're not going to be able to talk about that we'll talk about next week I found super interesting is the guy who worked on Steam Spy is building the Epic Store.
Yeah, he was working with their development tools guys to put forward tools to help developers look at their payout, because the way the payouts work, you can have you can incentivize as a developer content creators. So how Fortnite does the creator codes built into the Epic Game Store, you can create a code for the people in your game, give somebody access, and assign a percentage cut of sales to that person for
I'm sure
advertising,
do all that stuff.
Yeah. If you're talking about, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. So that's the kind of stuff the Steam Spy guy was really about, was that transparency of data and making smart business decisions based on the sales info. Which, oddly enough, after they shut down Steam Spy, the update for Steam is talking about their new revenue split. Less developers publish their sales data if they want to, on their page. You can share that publicly now. It's not required by Steam to be hidden. So it's a little bit of the same thing on both platforms, but now the guy who lost his job got a better job.
Yeah. So, was there anything else from the Game Awards you guys wanted to talk about before we move on to the game showcase?
No, I think you covered it mostly.
I know you said Journey's coming to PC.
Yes.
And dude, that is probably my favorite game.
That's all I ever hear from anybody is that Journey
is
an incredible game.
It the very first time I played it. All right, so I don't get very emotional a lot of times, and the very first time I played it, I sat down and I said, all right, I'm gonna play this from start to finish. And I did, and by the time the game was over with, I was in tears. I'm talking about bawling baby ass tears playing this game because it was just so much fun. And and it's so simplistic, but the story and the music and the soundtrack. I actually went out and bought the soundtrack just so I could have it.
Wow.
And I got so far into it that even I got hooked up with a lady that played it a lot, and she taught me how to do all the fancy flying, all the little secret glitches that you get outside the map.
Oh.
And yeah, man, there's so much more to that game than just the game. You can break the wall, get outside the map, and then there's so much that they didn't put in the game that you can find outside, and like the color shaders that change the different colors of the game. Like you fly through these certain areas, and I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where, like, I can't recommend it enough. But then I say also, like, hey, if you're playing that game, make sure you're hooked up to the internet, because that's the main magic.
Yes, playing through with somebody, because the first time I played through, I was hooked up to the internet, but nobody joined in on me, so I did it solo. But then the second time I played through with somebody, oh my god, it was even more spectacular. I can't. Anybody who says, "Hey, I'm thinking about playing Journey," I'm like, do it. Don't even think about it. Just go buy it, do it now, play it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting that when it comes to PC.
Yeah, some of the guys who left that studio, and like the guy who did the music, made that game Abzu, which isn't as great, but it's like super chill and cool.
Yeah, it's really good too.
They also announced that new game, that studio, Giant Squid. I forgot, I closed the page, but it looks like I think I said, it looked like the Mark of Kree and Mulan had a baby.
Is that like the Path or something along those lines?
Something like that. Yeah. That game looks cool.
Yeah,
looks more action focused, but it's going to be that same kind of style of following a path, and just that sensational, like that feeling of sound and color palettes.
Yeah, the Black Swan, or not the Black Swan, the Unfinished
Swan.
The Unfinished Swan was done by them as well, and it was really good.
So I've got some videos here. Was there anything in particular you wanted to go over from the game showcase? Because there's so much here. Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's weird that Super Meat Boy Forever has a release date finally. Mm-hmm. That's cool seeing, the son of meat, like like the was that Dr. Fetus or whatever steals the baby,
right? And
that's who you're trying to rescue now. I'm looking at the list. That Y2K. It's weird that Y2K, and there's another game further down. I don't remember which one. Is two different games that look like somebody who liked Earthbound decided to make an indie game, except Y2K is this weird, like, existential it's called a postmodern RPG.
I thought it was yuck.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy, but like the game, the style, the way you played is like essentially like Earthbound, like in gameplay. But then there was another one later on. Shit, I don't remember what it was, but it's like a guy from a Maori tribe from New Zealand.
Oh, right.
But that one actually looks like an old Earthbound game and has that kind of feel. So that was super weird. But really, the favorite things I saw, Messenger DLC, hell yeah. That comes out. That's a free expansion too, which is crazy. Mineko's Night Market, they showed that off at E3. I just want that game. It's like a weird, kind of like almost like Animal Crossing, bizarre game where you harvest cats and sell them at the market at night.
At Sundown looked really neat, which was 3 invincible guards versus 3 invisible attackers. That kind of multiplayer gameplay.
It's a really 3-on-3. Yeah, that looks weird. Toe Jam and Earl still looks exactly as bizarre and confusing as it was when I played on the Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
It just has cooler looking textures now.
And it was presented by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. Quarantine Circular's out. It's $6 on the Switch. It's been out on Steam for about like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
it's another one of the Mike Bithell shorts. So it's the same kind of
Surface Circular.
So Quarantine Circular is the same kind of style of gameplay.
Yeah.
As Subsurface, but you're a human investigating like this outbreak.
Right.
The Atoms Ascending looks like a kind of roguelike, weird sci-fi game. Moving Out looks dope.
Moving
It's made by
Out
the guys.
looks so cool.
It's made by the guys who did Death Squared. So it's a get mad at your
Oh.
friends co-op game.
It just looks so weird that you're like
Yeah.
throwing your furniture out, and yeah, you got to work together to move this couch across the street. And I love game concepts like this you would never think of. It's so bizarre.
The weirdest one in this mix, just based on who makes it, to me was Operencia. It's like this weird, like first-person RPG.
Oh,
It's made by
yes.
Zen Studios.
Okay.
Like they've made nothing but pinball games. Zen Pinball for like
Oh.
the past like 5-6 years.
Well, there you go, man. Some of these studios, they make shit like that so they can fund a bigger game. Operencia looks fucking rad. That's what I have on Steam now. I love games like this. Like, what is the one on PC that's really good? Oh my god. Dungeons of Dreadmore? No.
You mean Legend of Grimrock?
Legend of Grimrock, thank you. I love Legend of Grimrock. So I'm very excited about Operencia.
There's a game, Lapis X Labyrinth, which is like a weird, like it's cute girls in a dungeon, like weird, almost like original Maple Story side scrolling, like dungeon crawler. But it, like you stack your characters and like you find members of the party and the stat gets higher. So it's like 5 of these like adorable little girls making like anime girl sounds as you're fighting enemies and just getting random coins. Like, what the fuck is this game?
The Conan Unconquered is exciting just because it's a petroglyph game.
Yeah,
They make like RTSs.
I was gonna say it's got to be an RTS. Looking at
Yes.
him summoning essentially the Colossus of Rhodes to get up and start walking out like it's fucking Supreme Commander.
Petroglyph, I'm pretty sure made like the Star Wars Empire at War game and some really good RTSs.
Well, they're also the guys working on the Command and Conquer remakes.
Oh, good. See, we got Messenger DLC, which looks fucking bonkers.
When ski lifts go wrong is a cool looking game. It's essentially like Bridge Constructor, but it's like people on ski lifts, so it's gets all fucked up really fast. Rival Mega Gun came out, and it's like this weird like
Rival Mega Gun. They showed that, and I went, no, that's not for me. I was like, oh, attack your rival. Well, that's interesting. Transform.
Well, yeah.
All right, I'll play.
It's like, so they got like a basic vertical shmup, but then you can do a mode that's basically like Puzzle Fighter, but it's a shmup. So it's like you versus the other person, score attack stuff.
You know, I'm
like
totally over these types of games, but when you do something weird and fun like that, all right, I'll give it a shot.
It's like that game Heavy Burger, where they made this crazy like 4-player like brawl game out of old maps from like arcade games from the 80s.
Right.
That's on the Switch. That game's weird. It's crazy that they showed the Windjammers trailer for the physical release, and then they showed off a game called Logjammers, which is a straight up rip-off
that was
of
weird.
Windjammers, but it's lumberjacks on like rolling logs in a pool. Like what the fuck?
Here's that Miniko's Night Market, which looked weird as shit. Are you eating the cats?
No, you're selling adorable goods at night to other people. You harvest cats; they grow out of plants for some reason.
The fuck?
or you put plants out to attract cats, and then you pick up the cats and put them in a basket, sell them at a store. Like
I prefer cats coming out of plants. That sounds much fun. More.
Yeah.
I need my free range feline.
See, the Occupation, which is just a crazy game.
Organic
It's timed.
cats.
I'm not sure what this Disco Elysium is. That sounds interesting.
Slay the Spire coming out on Switch. That game is pretty cool.
Yes, I will be getting that for sure. Let's see. Away looks pretty neat.
Yeah, like a weird French studio working with Japanese designers to make anime nonsense in there.
Yeah, sure. I'll give that a shot.
Bury Me My Love if you just want to be really sad.
That does look really interesting. It looks like almost a Florence or oh my god, what's the phone one? A Lost Phone?
Yeah, Lost Phone, yeah.
I don't know.
Slime Song Creator. That looks
That'll be
cool.
fun. I like Slime Song. Wild 8, I don't like at all. I played that. I really don't like that game. Not in My Car. This is a car battle royale.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's out right now on beta on Steam.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. I'll play that. Let's see. There's just so many games they announced.
Virgo versus the Zodiac looked weird. Boyfriend Dungeon's pretty cool.
I don't
Oh,
remember
Lord.
some of this stuff. There's so many games I just don't even remember them.
There's 69 of them. They got up to the magic number.
Some kind of
Ape
VR
Out
looking game.
comes out soon. I
Ape
need
Out
that.
looks bonkers. Let me see if I can find a video of Ape Out. That was one that I was actually kind of interested in.
Yeah, it's like a weird mix of Mr. Shifty and Hotline Miami.
Yes. It's super
But, like-
bloody, super gory. Just smashing dudes against walls, chucking them out windows, using them
Yeah,
as
you're-
human shields. Like,
You're an ape escaping like a testing facility,
yeah.
and like the whole like game it's almost kind of like a rhythm game where like the way you're playing, like your actions are making the drum sounds to the crazy like drum beat that's always going. So like when you're throwing the guys, like that makes like a cymbal crash sound and all this
Yeah.
cool stuff.
Or like Mr. Shifty,
And-
where you got to plan your movements very exact. That's a game I really need to get and play through as Mr. Shifty.
Fight Night looks weird because it looks almost like that game Sundered,
Fight Night.
where it's like this first person like dungeon crawling RPG looking thing,
Right.
but it almost looks like a game of Punch Out when you go to actually do the actual like RPG battles. Like it's weird.
This Supermarket Shriek game is coming to Game Pass. And I
Yeah.
still don't understand what the fuck it is.
So like it looks like a puzzle game of like
Yeah.
getting through the supermarket, and like you're just like you're propelling yourself by screaming, it seems. So you've got to like look the opposite way of where you want to go.
That sounds pretty.
Weird.
And there's a goat apparently because the studio has goat in the name.
Yeah, Billy
God.
Goat Studios or some shit.
The Church in the Darkest is a crazy game.
Yeah,
So
yeah. See, this is super interesting to me because this is like some occult bullshit. Like, it looks creepy. These people that are promised a lot. It looks like Jamestown. All the
Yeah, it's
people that drank the
pretty
Kool-Aid
similar
and died.
concept to Jamestown.
Yes. It looks like it's probably primarily a narrative game. Maybe it's you got to figure out. Maybe it's like a political game. It does look interesting. It has some stealth killing. So I don't know. That game looks super interesting to me.
Falcon Age looks cool as hell. Like I'm not sure how that game's gonna work, but like the style.
I have to show this to Bob Musa of the Larp Brothers because like he's all interested in being a falconer and stuff, and this just looks so cool.
So you're telling me the LARP guy wants a falcon?
Yes,
That's shocking.
this might satiate that because it's not.
He
Gonna
wants to
happen.
learn leatherworking to make his own glove, and he wants to get a falcon.
No, he knows leatherworking. It's almost
Yeah,
there.
I was just saying those are stereotypical fucking concepts I've come
Pretty
across
much.
from the many LARPers I've known.
Yeah, Falcon Age looks really interesting. That's some shit that VR needs is crazy games like that.
Because it's not a VR only game,
No?
which, yeah, because it says VR mode available.
Oh, true.
So there's a regular game here, but look at it. You only want to do this in VR so you can fist
Yeah.
bump your fucking Falcon.
Absolutely.
It's like,
Right.
why am I bullshitting? Like, I
Well,
want
it's
to
like every
manually
time I look at
pull
Super
the
Hot,
arrows out.
every time I look at Super Hot, I'm like, I don't want to play this with a controller. I want to play this in VR.
Well, it's also really good with a controller, but
Yeah.
when you're doing the actual like dual hand controllers, like ducking and diving, and like that game is transformed by VR.
Yeah.
This game just
absolutely.
looks like it'd be cooler because you can do cool shit with your Falcon. Like, look,
Yeah.
he's got a hat, man. He's got a cowboy hat on. Fucking howdy. You're just gonna scroll by and not say howdy? Goddamn right I'm gonna say howdy.
And then this, what is this? Jenny Leclue Detective. I love the
Yeah,
name.
that shit looks cool.
It looks super interesting. I love the art style. It looks super neat. It's an adventure game, which I typically don't care about, but the story and like the art and everything makes it look really interesting. Something I might actually play. Let's see.
Desert Child comes out in a few days. I'll be playing
Yeah.
that. That game looks rad.
Dude, I was like, is this a Cowboy Bebop game? I don't understand what's happening. I love that they basically just stole that from Cowboy Bebop. The music and the colors and everything. I'm okay with it. It looks fucking awesome. Yeah, you mentioned Desert Child last podcast or the podcast before, and yeah, it looks fantastic.
I like that the VGR like page I was looking at, the list of these games literally says Cowboy Bebop like trailer.
Yeah, because it was.
Like that's the description. Like
it could not be more obvious unless they just called it like Desert Bebop or some shit.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm okay with it because it fits. Even this just being in the Cowboy Bebop universe would fit. So yeah, I like that they did that.
Yeah, you're like one of these like hover bike riders doing races to get enough money to get off planet.
It looks really fun. But there's other stuff too. There's some RPG elements and stuff in the looks of it.
Yeah.
The music is really good in that too.
Yeah, that's what that guy that whatever something Britain or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like he's primarily a musician because I looked into this. Like he's like a electronic musician that also has been like doing some weird indie game stuff.
See,
the next one on that list is Storm Divers.
Which who's making that?
So that's Housemarque, the guys that made Resogun. They made Alienation, Dead Nation, Nex Machina.
Yeah, I went to go sign up for the thing and it didn't work. Maybe it's up now.
Yeah, they've been doing the beta since when they announced the game at E3 because I've checked out the beta twice, which actually I think it was alpha because it was in NDA like to sign up, but like going by what you see in the trailer, it's like it's kind of a little bit closer to Realm Royale in style.
Yeah.
Of like there's different classes that have like different abilities, like different benefits to pick them. Like this class does better with these weapons. This class does better with this ability. You can find the other things when you're looting, but there's also by the name Storm Divers. There's also like when the storm moves in, it's actual like weather effects and like tornadoes and shit.
Yeah.
Like it gets crazy if you actually go out into the storm, like lightning strikes, crazy stuff. Like it feels pretty good from what I played, but it was really rough alpha on a PC that didn't run it well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for the beta. Hopefully, get in. They showed off Judgment, which is the word escapes me. It's getting too late.
Well, it's made by the Yakuza guys, so it's a beat 'em up.
Right.
But it has like some straight up like Professor Layton, like Ace Phoenix Wright, like Ace Attorney, kind of like
you mix that title
crime solving.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's a beat 'em up with some Ace Attorney stuff, which sounds cool. It was announced here, right?
Well,
game
no,
showcase?
Project Judge has been known for a while.
Oh, okay.
It's just like the name Judgment, the actual name for it, and like the release window wasn't necessarily known.
Gotcha.
It is crazy that this game is coming out like almost day and date with Japan.
Oh, okay.
Like it's being localized and pushed out like right off the bat. Like they've had massive success now that they actually put money into doing like faithful localizations of the
Yeah.
Yakuza games. Which this one's kind of different because this one has like English voiceover.
Mhm.
Like they did that way back in the day with the first Yakuza. They had like Michael Madsen, some other like actual like Hollywood talent in it, and it's like super weird to see like a bad translation with Hollywood actors reading it.
Right.
But this one is like from the ground up, like has a full localization in English with English voice actors.
Right. Yeah,
And it's coming out not too long after it launches in Japan, which is crazy.
and the last thing announced is that the Walking Dead episode 3?
Has a release date, yeah.
Yeah. Game that many people thought was just never going to come out. So
Yeah, they've
that's
got like
pretty
40 people from Telltale working on it in the old Telltale offices,
Yeah.
which is great.
It just makes sense. Like, why move all these people? Why uproot them? Why treat them like shit? Telltale. Skybound's just stepping in and doing what a good person would do, I guess. What Telltale should be doing. But that's we've already talked about that situation a lot. So I'm glad this is coming out. I think I would like to play through. I played through season 1 and really enjoyed it. I kind of want to just wait for this to finish up and then play through it all. I have season 2. The big reason why I haven't played it is because my season 1 stuff was on 360 and it doesn't transfer to Xbox One.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was it for the Kind of Funny Game Showcase. If you guys haven't watched that, highly recommend it.
A lot of cool, weird stuff, and it's only about an hour of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
So, we're at 2 hours and 17. We're about 45 minutes plus over what we wanted to be for this podcast. Usually we're trying to keep it to an hour and a half now, but
there was a lot of stuff.
There was.
Like this is like a double E3 essentially.
Yeah. Oh, this is better than any E3 like ever. Like between the Game Awards by themselves was awesome, and the Kind of Funny Game Showcase was awesome. So it's good stuff to come next year. I'm super excited about next year for gaming. But is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Any other games? Any other subjects at all?
I think you guys covered a lot.
Yeah, I mean, most of the games that was at the Game Awards, y'all pretty much covered the ones I was going to talk about. So, I mean, we've hit all the high points, I think.
Pretty much.
Yeah. The only other thing I can think about would be the Starbreeze situation.
Yeah, that's gonna take a whole segment for.
Yeah, because it's crazy, like the weird like breakout of like the Studio Grin was made, and these guys made some games. They made that Wanted game for the movie.
Okay, yeah, that was fun.
And they went out of business working on, I think, not a Star Wars project, but something else. And then now they were working with Square Enix on a Final Fantasy project and got like the money pulled out from under them, and those guys broke up. And like the two brothers, one of the guys who is being looked into for like the weird insider trading stuff,
right?
And his other brother, they started up Overkill, and they met a guy and they made the first Payday. And they started Starbreeze, and then they made Payday 2. They made the sequel to the Chronicles of Riddick game. And then the guy who was like the lead designer for Payday left and started doing something else. And the other brother, who's not the fuck, left and started to do his own thing. And those guys are making that game GTFO, which looks super cool.
Okay.
And then other guys who had left Overkill started Machine Games, who made Wolfenstein. So there's been like this weird,
Wow.
like family tree of Swedish game designers having like terrible misfortune financially, starting new studios, and then becoming,
Yeah.
developers of note. And then now with Starbreeze, like the kind of like dad of them all, like they've been on hard times for a while because every console port they ever made of Payday was terrible and unsupported.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's something we'll talk about next week in depth, I think, along with the...
yeah.
As long as nothing else comes up this week.
Yeah, then they shit out the Walking Dead Overkill game, which is rough
Yeah,
and
that
pretty
looks
much early
rough.
access for full price. But it's interesting that they actually showed up, raided the building, and arrested somebody.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like they got the computers and detained a person. I was like, that's crazy. And then the Game Awards happened. Everybody forgot about it.
More or less.
I wish everybody the best, man. That sucks. They filed for like restructuring because they were broke and trying not to go bankrupt. And then this happened. So wish everybody the best, man. You guys made some cool games.
All right, well, that's the podcast. So thank you for listening, guys. Where can they find you, Fates?
Twitch.tv Fates_Pyro. Easiest place to find me.
And you have a website as well, correct?
Yeah, for StreamOn Nation, we do have a website. It's just StreamOnNation.com.
Yeah, if you want to talk a little bit about what you guys do there, because we're going to be working with you guys hopefully in the future.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
basically, you want to help out streamers and content creators of all types.
Yeah. That's short, simple, sweet. To the point there. I could spend, how long have we been talking here? 2 hours.
Too long.
Two and a half hours, or something like that.
Almost.
Yeah, I could take the time and sit here and talk about StreamOn for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll do that someday. Andrew Beowulf, where can they find you?
Just as simple as my name on the screen. Twitch.tv /Andrew_Beowulf.
Awesome. Troll, where can they find you?
Same thing there. TrollBeard with the _, Twitter, Twitch, all that annoying stuff. I just bother people. It's what I do for a living.
And you can find me on Twitter, BestintheRealm, Facebook, BestintheRealm Gaming, YouTube and Twitch is BestintheRealm. You can find all my content, all the Blackbeard Bob, TrollBeard's content, the Larp Brothers, all the RC stuff we have coming out soon. You can find